What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video on my channel Skotrix, and today as you can see we are back on NBA 2K21 Next Gen for another build guide video. And in today's video I'm going to be showing y'all how to build the best James Harden build in NBA 2K21 Next Gen. This is a super good all-around build. You can score from anywhere on the court. This is a super good offensive demigod build. But before I get into the actual build really quickly, I just want to mention, if y'all are not subbed to my channel yet, make sure you click that subscribe button. Only about 2% of the people who watch my videos are actually subbed to my channel, so if you click that sub button right now you can join the 2% gang. I really appreciate it. Helps out a lot. But with all that being said, without any further ado, let's get right into the video here. Alright, so in this first screen, nothing really matters too much. The only thing that's important is you want your position to be a small forward. The reason you don't make this a shooting guard is just because you can get so many more badges at small forward. You could make it at a shooting guard. Just follow along with me how I upgrade, but you will get way more badges at small forward, so that's what I recommend doing. Then you just want to go down to your hand jersey number. None of this matters. You can set this up however you want. Same thing with the name. None of that matters. The only thing that's important is you want your position to be a small forward. Then you can go ahead and click continue. Now for the body settings for this build, first off for the height right here, you just want to go down 1 inch to 6'6". I believe this is James Harden's height in real life, and it's also the best height to make this build. It gives you the ability to do everything. You're going to get pro dribble moves right off the rip. You're going to be able to shoot. You're going to be able to finish at the rim. You're going to have good defensive physicals. You're going to be a super good all-around build right here at 6'6". Plus, you really should be able to guard all positions with this build. Even though I know James Harden isn't much of a defender, this build is pretty decent at defense, and at 6'6", you should be able to guard most big men since they're only 6'9" usually or lower. And you should be able to guard most guards as well since they're obviously going to be shorter than you or around the same height as you. So that's really good. 6'6", perfect height right there for this build. Then for the weight right here, you want to go down to 200 pounds right on the dot right here. This will bring your speed up to an 88. And remember, once you get into the Gatorade facility and run on the treadmill, you'll get that up to a 92 because you'll get +4. And once you get above 95 overall, that will get even higher. So you're going to be plenty fast enough with this build. And lowering the weight also brings up your acceleration and your speed with ball. So that's good. 200 pounds, perfect spot right there. If you bring it up any, you lose some speed. If you bring it down any, well, there's no point in bringing it down. So 200 pounds right there, perfect spot. Then for the wingspan right here, you also just want to bring this down just 1 inch. This will kind of balance out your attributes a bit. It doesn't change much, but basically what it does is it brings your ball handle up 1, brings your 3-point shot up 1, and that's important to get the deep threes badge. So it is important that you bring this down 1, and it also puts your driving dunk -1, which isn't a big deal. You're still gonna have a 94 driving dunk. You'll still be able to dunk on people. Don't worry about that. Just set your wingspan at 6'10" right here. Then the body shape, this doesn't matter. You can choose whichever you want. Won't affect the build in any way, won't change the attributes, won't change the badges. All it does is change how the build looks. So for me, I'll probably just take maybe defined because it's probably the most similar to James Harden, even though he has been looking pretty burly lately. But for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and take defined for this build, then go ahead and say continue. Now for the attribute and badge distribution right here. First off, for the finishing, you just want to go ahead and put your driving layup and driving dunk both up to max. Then your standing dunk also up to max, and then your post control right here up to a 71, and that will give you 14 finishing badges, which is more than enough. As you can see, you have the ability to get every single shooting badge onto Hall of Fame, so you're going to be an amazing finisher to go along with your 94 driving dunk, 95 driving layup, and all these badges. You're going to be an amazing finisher, just like James Harden in real life. So that's good right there. Then you can go down to shooting. For shooting, you want to max out mid-range, 3-pointer, and then put your free throw up right here to a 65 right here, and that will give you 21 shooting badges. And as you can see, every single shooting badge onto Hall of Fame except for deep threes, which can only get up to gold, but once you get above 95 overall, that will be able to get up to Hall of Fame, so don't worry about that too much. If you do want to get that up to Hall of Fame right off the rip, if you don't want to grind to 95 overall or 96 overall to get that, then all you have to do is lower the wingspan one more time. Not a big deal. You can do that if you want to get that right off the rip, but I don't mind maxing out this build before I get that, so I'm just going to leave it right here at the 6'10" wingspan, get that on gold right away and up to Hall of Fame once you get above 95. And then for the playmaking right here, first off, you want to max out the ball handle, max out the speed with ball, and then put the pass accuracy up right here to a 62. And that will give you 13 playmaking badges, which is more than enough. Again, every single good playmaking badge onto either gold or Hall of Fame, and some of those gold badges will be able to get up to Hall of Fame once you get above 95 overall, so keep that in mind. But basically every good playmaking badge you can get as high as you're going to need it, and 13 will be more than enough to go along with. Again, like I said, you have pro dribble moves on this build, so to go along with that, that'll be more than enough badges. And yeah, that's the playmaking, really good playmaking on this build. Then you go down to the defense. For defense, you want to max out perimeter, and then you also want to put up your rebound right here. Just max out your defensive rebound, and that will move up your offensive rebound a bit too and give you 11 defense badges, which is honestly even more than the James Harden build should get. but I mean, you don't want to be terrible at defense on this game, so it's best to just upgrade your defense a bit, even though it's kind of unrealistic compared to James Harden. I mean, he's not as bad of a defender as some people say, but he's not great. He's not a Hall of Fame clamps type of defender, but for this build, you do want to have that. You do want to have your defense just like this, and this will be more than enough to be able to defend. Don't worry about it. You'll have more than enough to defend. Then you can go down to your physicals right here, max out your speed, acceleration, max out your stamina as well, and then your remaining few attributes right here. You can't get any badges with them, so you might as well just go ahead and put them into your vertical right there, get that up to a 73, and there you go. That is the best way to set up the attributes for the James Harden build. Gives you 14 finishing, 21 shooting, 13 playmaking, 11 defense, and pretty good physicals as well. So once you have all of your stuff looking like this, you can go ahead and say continue. Now for the takeover for this build, obviously some personal preference. You can really choose whichever ones you want. You do have the option between the slasher, shot creator, sharpshooter, and lockdown takeovers, so you can pick whatever one you want, whatever one fits your playstyle the best. But for me, for my primary, I'll probably go ahead and take limitless range, and then for the secondary, maybe ankle breaking shots, maybe easy blow-bys or finishing moves. I'll take finishing moves, but again, it really just depends on your playstyle. You can choose whichever ones fit your playstyle and your preference the most, then go ahead and click continue. Now, as you can see right here, boom, two-way scoring machine, shades of Latrell Sprewell, DeMar DeRozan, and Gordon Hayward. And the reason this isn't compared to James Harden is because he's obviously a shooting guard, and you made this build small forward because it's better to make it small forward, so that's good. It doesn't need to be compared to James Harden on this screen to be the James Harden build. So now, like I said, I'm going to take a quick second and show you how to put on the badges for this build. I recommend y'all stick around for this. It'll only take a second, and hopefully it'll make you get this build as good as possible. And like I said, it will also show you which badges this showed as gold on the previous screen. We'll actually be able to get up to Hall of Fame once you get above 95 overall. So first off, for the finishing right here, you're going to want to go ahead and get posterizer, all the way up to Hall of Fame. Then if you took a slashing takeover like me, you're going to want to also get heat seeker all the way up to Hall of Fame, then slithery finisher all the way up to Hall of Fame. And with your last two badges right here, you're going to want to get acrobat onto silver, just like that. This is all of the finishing that you're going to need. If you didn't take a slashing takeover, you don't need heat seeker. You can instead invest that into maybe like lob city finisher or fearless finisher, but I took a slashing takeover, so I'm going to get heat seeker onto Hall of Fame. Go ahead and say yes. Now for the shooting badges right here, first off, you're going to want to go ahead and get deep threes onto Hall of Fame. Again, once you get above 95 overall, then hot zone hunter also onto Hall of Fame, as long as you have hot zones. Then if you took a shooting takeover, you're going to want hot shot all the way up to Hall of Fame. Then with these last three badges right here, I'm going to go ahead and get Deadeye onto gold, blinders onto gold, and rhythm shooter also onto gold, just like that. This is the best way to set up the shooting badges for this build. Again, some personal preference right here. A few other good badges would be volume shooter, maybe stop and pop if you're doing a lot of shots off the dribble, or maybe like difficult shots if you're shooting a lot of fadeaways, or if you took like a shot creating takeover, you might want difficult shots. But for me, this is the best way to set up the shooting badges for this build, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Now for the playmaking right here, first off, you're going to want to go ahead and get quick first step all the way up to gold, handles for days onto Hall of Fame, unpluckable onto silver. That's all that you're going to need onto. You won't need any higher than silver. And then you're going to want to go ahead and get bullet passer onto bronze, ankle breaker onto bronze, tight handles onto bronze, and space creator onto bronze, just like that. That's all of the dribbling badges that you're going to need to be able to break down defenders and take ankles. Just ankle breaker, tight handles, and space creator all on bronze. That unlocks every single animation, and trust me, that'll be all you need. 100% that'll be all you need. So just set up your playmaking just like this, then you can go ahead and say yes. Now for the defense right here, finally you're going to want to go ahead and get clamps all the way up to Hall of Fame, pick dodger all the way up to Hall of Fame, tireless defender onto bronze. If you took a defensive takeover, you're going to want to go ahead and get hot stopper. I didn't, so instead I'm going to go ahead and get pogo onto bronze and rebound chaser onto bronze, just like that. But those last couple do have some personal preference. You can really put them wherever you want. If you find yourself running out of stamina a lot, chasing people around on defense, you could increase tireless defender higher. But for me, this is the best way to set these up. Since you do have a decent rebound on this build, this is the best way to set up the defense badges. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, just like that. And there you guys go. That's how you build the best James Harden build in NBA 2K21 Next Gen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel if you're new. Like I said, only 2% of people who watch my videos are actually subbed to my channel. So if you click that sub button right now, you can join the 2% gang. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And also I stream on Twitch. My Twitch link will be down in the description below. Make sure you go follow me over there. But anyways, that's going to be it. All right. Peace.